Hi guys, welcome back to Career Conversations with Crystal and Caitlin. So today is one of our most favorite topics. Crystal, why don't you introduce?
So we're going to be talking about LinkedIn profiles today and whether yours is up to par. So based upon what we talk about today, we want to see if yours is up to par because a lot of people leave their LinkedIn kind of just there. It's one of those profiles that they create and don't do anything with, unfortunately.
For sure.
And it has so many benefits. And that's what we kind of want to harp on today about those benefits and about having a complete LinkedIn profile.
And it's funny too, because I'm actually myself going through orientation right now. And as a recruiter, we just went over the importance of having a LinkedIn profile when you're reaching out to, potential job seekers and potential clients and things like that. And one of the statistics from our little orientation was that a profile picture gets you like 70 times more views. So that is like the big thing. If you don't have a profile picture, no one's going to reach out to you because it looks, like spam or something. Clearly you're not on there enough to be on LinkedIn. So no one you're gonna get passed right over. And then obviously, the different types of like standards for the profile picture. Make sure your family's not in it. It's only you, like, a nice headshot, like now with all the things that you can do as far as like your iPhone and in your portrait mode, you don't really need a professional anymore. Just have it in a nice,
That's very
regular
true.
background. Right.
Yeah, that's really true. And then also what you said about LinkedIn standards, people, if your profile is completed with, I guess, LinkedIn standards, you're 40 times more likely to get opportunities than you
Mm,
are with an incomplete.
wow.
So that profile picture, like you said, you don't want something that's super outdated.
Right.
Obviously, that was obvious that that was 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then also with military personnel, I know I recently had this where you're not, once you're out of the military, you're not supposed to have on your uniform within your pictures. So
Mm.
you do want to make sure that you take a professional headshot if you're transitioning from military to civilian.
Thank you. For sure.
Yeah,
What do you think
definitely.
about like the background like photo? I know, sometimes a lot of they were talking about that in our orientation. Like to me, it's nice to have a background photo. Like sometimes, people have it in their city or like they go to Canva and make a little personalized like background photo and things like that, which is cool. So it just kind of also sets you apart from other people to show that you kind of put in that, extra little effort.
Yeah, like if you go to mine, like I definitely have like Washington D.C. because that's where my job is and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
But it also shows that I work for the federal government. But I personally like it because it brings you back to the personal branding element
Mm.
of branding yourself. So that kind of shows more. I don't want to say that LinkedIn is informal, but it's definitely a formal.
Personal.
It's just more personal, so you're able to show
Yeah.
your personality a little bit more. I'm not saying in your pictures like you don't want to post like what you did, on the weekend or anything like that. But hey, if
Exactly.
you did do something on the weekend that had something to do with career development, that's
Yeah.
something that those are the types of things that you can post. But
Right.
I guess before we get into all that, we can go over what a complete LinkedIn would have.
Right. Definitely. So then
Yes.
after the background would be your headline, which is another big one, from taking the national, well, I just became the nationally certified profile expert. And that was a big, I
Yay.
forget, I thank you. And I don't, there's another statistic on that one about, your headlines and how you need to make sure that's optimized too. So a good tip that they gave us, have like the headline should be your title that you're aiming for, not your current title. So if I right now I'm a a recruiter, but I'm looking for senior recruiter positions, that's what I'm going to put in my headline. And so if you go to my profile, I also have like a cool little, tagline like senior recruiter looking to find the best fit talent or something like that. So, something that like you were saying, like brings out your personality and it's just a little bit more. And then, a lot of people say do not put seeking opportunities in your headline because
I
it
was just
looks
about to say
desperate.
that. Yeah, it
So
looks
you think
very
the
good.
same? Yeah.
Well, that brings me to that picture. So the picture that everyone's posting that has seeking opportunity, what do
Mm.
you think about that as a recruiter?
See, to me, I think it's helpful because I already know that they're like available for positions, but I mean, it doesn't matter to me either way. I'm gonna reach out to you if you're having the experience that I'm looking for. You know what I mean?
So would you reach out more to somebody who has that in their picture or,
I mean, if I
or,
saw somebody that has that in their picture versus somebody
mhm,
that doesn't and they have the same experience, yeah, I'm gonna reach out to them first because
yeah.
that shows that they're available.
Yeah, I know that there was like a little debate about that, whether you should
Yeah.
have it there,
See,
but
personally, I don't think that it's that big of a deal, but I do think there's better ways to use your definitely your headline instead of just having seeking opportunities in there because,
I mean, you
you
only
won't.
get a couple of characters. So, like I say,
Right.
use it wisely and promote yourself, promote your brand, promote what
Mhm.
you do.
Right.
Like I work with a lot of information technology, like IT things. So that's something
Mhm.
that I did put,
Right.
like, not only am I a contract specialist, but I do have these other sets of skills that
Mhm.
I could bring to an
And that's,
organization.
yeah, another like good, searchable element that I can when I'm pulling up people
Right.
and it's, right on when you're before I even click in your profile, I can see, okay, so this person has their, in IT and they already say that they have this. So I'm definitely going to go to their profile.
Right. Even your certs. That's a good
Yeah.
place to put your cert because a lot of
Yeah.
people are looking for people with certification so they don't have to retrain them. So
Mhm.
that's perfect. So yeah, you want to really, like you said, put things that are more centered towards what you want your industry and then your location. That's
Mhm.
that's a must. You want to put,
Oh, for sure.
yeah, so because I'm in the Washington, D.C. area, we call it, it's the metropolitan area because we're so close to Maryland. I actually live in Virginia, but DC is very close to Maryland and Virginia. So you do want to put the
Right.
metropolitan area if you're in a place like me or somewhere specific.
Right. And then for those who are like looking to move to a different state or something like that, what I would suggest is still having or I guess, what would you think? Do you think that they should put the state that they're looking to get hired in on their LinkedIn profile?
I would.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I say that is because if a recruiter is looking at your profile and see that you're all the way in California and they're
Mm-hmm.
not gonna, sometimes people pay for you to move and sometimes people don't.
Right.
And you don't want that to be a factor already when you're just
Very
trying to get
true.
a job. Maybe down
Yeah.
the line, you could talk to the employer about that. But right now, at this point, you're just trying to get the attention of
Right,
the
right. I
recruiter.
agree. Definitely. And then there is another, on the back end of your profile that you can also let recruiters know that you're open to
Right.
relocating and then stating the
Mhm.
different areas that that you're open to go to as well. So good
Yeah,
tip
and
there.
then that brings us to, making sure that your profile is up to date with your contact information. A lot of
Yes.
people say that they don't want to put their number, they don't want to put, certain emails, but those are the types of things that actually this this network, this profile is to gain employment,
Right, right.
and it works. It's not a
Yeah.
secret. Like
Right.
it's a tool that you're supposed to utilize to its fullest
Mhm.
potential. So putting those types of things will benefit you in the long run.
Right. And then as a recruiter, I want to have as many options possible to be able to get a hold of you because, if this job is a immediate job, then I can't reach you on your one, LinkedIn account and you maybe you don't check that very
Right,
often,
and people
then
don't.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, and I want to be able to reach you quickly. So please put your information. And another good
Please.
tip is, like if you don't want to share your your actual phone number, make a Google, what is it? Google phone account.
Voice,
Um
is it voice?
Google
Yeah,
Voice, yeah. And then
yeah,
you can have a phone number on there that we can reach out to and you'll know it's only for LinkedIn or employee, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
when you're applying to jobs. So that's a good tip too.
Yeah, definitely. And then I was gonna say something in regards to that, but it slipped my mind. Um, I don't know.
Over
But anyway, so
Hopefully
yeah,
it'll
just
come
make
back.
sure that it's up to date, whatever
Right.
you do. And then also, it was funny because a past client that I just had, I asked her if she had a LinkedIn, and she's like, yeah, but it doesn't have anything on it. But you could still put it on my resume. I said, no, we're not gonna do that because they're gonna see that you're not really invested in this profile, and
Right,
it means a
right.
lot to some organizations. So, but
True.
I will say that federal jobs really don't go to LinkedIn profiles. It's more so the
Mm,
contractors that will reach out via LinkedIn saying, "Hey,
I
would
see.
are you interested in an opportunity in blah 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 industry?"
Oh
But
yeah.
either way, make sure it's up to date and make sure that you have
Yeah.
that education. Wait, we're going down. Wait,
So
so
I think we're at the about section.
summary, yeah, about
Yeah.
section. So what do you prefer to see in an about section as a
So my rule of thumb, I like to start off with like, okay, so kind of, a quick summary, like the summary that you would have in the top of your resume on like, a couple sentences of what your, like, once again, what's your brand? What can you bring to the table? What, are some like real big top skills that people are looking for? Are you bilingual? Like tell me a little bit more about you. And then I kind of like to do like bullet points on some key projects that you've worked on or key accomplishments. And then I throw in like technologies, things like that. And it's all about like how extra times that you can throw in things and add in those like additional search words and like things like that. So obviously there's other places on your LinkedIn profile that you can add in your skills and things like that. But why not also try to, put that in your profile or your summary section as well and show like how you've used them in the past?
It's just like the resume though, like the professional summary in your resume. So these are, I mean, of course, it's not as long, but
Mm-hmm.
that's where you want to, get people, you want them to, continue to read and
Right.
continue to browse your profile. So you made a
Mm-hmm.
good point about adding the bullet points and things of that nature, and just really elaborating on what you can do. Like,
Right.
like I'm gonna keep saying the personal branding element because you're you're really setting the tone for your LinkedIn profile.
For sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely. And then as we go down, so the about section, and then it's the
Like
education,
education.
like all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
you do want to make sure that's up to date.
Certifications.
And then also, when you attach your education to your profile, you're also connecting with those people. So that's broadening your
For
network.
sure.
And that's one of the major reasons why you should be on LinkedIn. It's because you want that network. What if you
Yeah.
happen to be out of a job and somebody, I went to George Mason University, so someone from Mason, popped up and said, "Hey, here's a opportunity to do this, do that." Like that's great. And that's
Yeah.
supposed to
And that's a
be
good conversation starter too,
right to
when you're
connect with.
networking. So yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
so definitely keep those up to date. And then
Mm-hmm.
it goes your positions.
Oh yeah. I think we
So
reversed
yeah.
them, but that's
Oh wait, I
okay.
think we did too. But either way, you
Yeah.
guys get where we're going with this.
Yeah.
I don't have it right in front of me.
I know, right?
But but yeah, so with your positions, I think LinkedIn wants you to have at least 2 now. Like as of December 2019, they wanted you to have to be completed about two positions. So
Right.
make sure that, you know, even you're not copying and pasting your resume onto your LinkedIn profile. That's what you don't want to do. Put your
Very true.
accomplishments
Yep.
down there.
And then like a little summary. And you can, in this one, you can use like in, you know, you can say so in this position, I grew from, you know, associate to lead, and like kind of go a little bit more, you know, in depth on that one. So, and like you said, you don't want to just verbatim copy what you have on the resume, but definitely show us your projects, your accomplishments, you know, and that type of thing. So definitely a good point there.
And then I think we go down to the skills.
Yeah, skills.
Skills. So you want to make sure that you have at least 3 skills.
You can go up to 50. I always say go up to 50. I say go up to 50. Yeah, but 3 are the top skills.
Yeah, 3 are the top skills, and I'm just saying 3. That's what LinkedIn would say that is the standard for complete. But go up to 50 if you can. Why not?
Right.
This is the time to do a little humble brag if you can.
Exactly.
Well, I know it's really not easy to talk about yourself or to write about yourself, but you know, when you're working with your, you know, resumes and things of that nature, you're gonna have to.
Right.
And that's
and
where,
then,
you know,
a
resume writer could come in with helping you with your LinkedIn.
For sure. And I was just going to say, when you're looking at job postings on LinkedIn, you can see like your skills, how do they match up to, well, I think that's only if you have a, like elite profile or you're paying for the premium, but still like sometimes, I mean, pay for it maybe for a month, and then you can see how your skills like are or how they line up to other people applying for this job. It's pretty interesting. And then you can kind of play
people too. Yeah.
Right. And then you can kind of play around with the, you know, with your skills and the algorithm, and see if you're getting more people contacting you from, you know, updating versus seeing what's on the jobs that you're applying to. So
right. So yeah, please ensure that you put those skills, because that's the way, like, even if you're if someone's typing in your name and it has something to do with what they're looking for, you'll pop up. You'll be one of the first ones to pop up in your area, possibly.
For sure.
So, and then connections. You want to make sure that, I mean, there are a lot of other things like publications, like we can go on and on about
another one, which I kind of am just learning about, was the endorsements. So which I like personally don't have, I mean, enough. So, and it's kind of a newer thing that I think people are starting to realize, okay, well, that is also something that's searchable, is having more like endorsements you have for, you know, say like if we're looking for a certain, you know, program that you use, or if you're
policy or things.
Right. And so basically the more people that endorse you for this, the higher you are going to be on the list, you know, as far as the search criteria goes. So how that works is if you endorse somebody else, they're more likely to endorse you. So maybe make like a point to endorse like 3 people a week or something like that. And then you can have those starting to come back to you, you know?
Right. That's really good. I like that tool. And I, like you said, I think a lot more people are utilizing that part of that part of their LinkedIn.
Right.
And also there's recommendations.
That's a good one.
You could request recommendations. So
from old like professors, old managers, you know, just start getting those. But and even if you aren't looking, just, you know, you never know. So just, you know, ask. When I'm at my jobs, I just ask right away. So, or, you know, while you're there, so you don't have to backtrack, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an awesome tool, and you know, we're happy to, you know, give tips and techniques to you know, really elaborate on your LinkedIn profile, but we can go on and on about this. We might even have a second episode about LinkedIn, the networking. That's what So yeah, I think we should continue more.
For sure.
episode.
Yes. Part 2 at least.
Part 2. Okay. So if you all have any questions that you want us to address in part 2, please write below in the comments and we'll definitely address those.
Cool.
All right. We'll see you guys next time on the second episode of this.
All right.
All right. Yeah.